looking at that, right? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to ask Nick to do, and again, even in this instance, I would definitely want his shirt off because I want to be able to see his biceps. I want to see how his shoulder works in relation with his biceps. Okay, I want to be able to see the whole picture. But for right now, can you just bend your elbow up as best you can for me? Any pain or discomfort there? Can you straighten it out all the way for me? Any pain or discomfort there? Can you put your arm up just like this for me? Can you turn your hand over as far as you can? Any pain or discomfort changes there? How about when we go up and over the other way? Any changes to your symptoms that way? No, okay. So that's kind of elbow. You may want to lump in even wrist with that some because you know, like, if I extend the elbow and flex the wrist, I can be stretching some of those muscles. If you can put that together right now, you can start to look at that and see what happens. That's a possibility with the active movements here as well, but that's also something that if you do see muscle length being a problem, that's something we can measure for later, right? Muscle length testing, right? Mm-hmm. So that's active. Passively, you can do it a few ways. You can actually do it sitting up. It is one way. Can you just kind of relax your elbow for me? And what I gotta do is I gotta bend his elbow all the way. I always like doing it laying down. So can you lay down for me, Nick? And let's do this arm just so everyone can kind of see. One thing I would like to do in this instance as well is probably have a small pillow or towel roll, kind of keep that shoulder more neutral, okay? But then what I can do, once I had that, but for this case right now, we'll just let it stay on the table. So his humerus is by and large stabilized, and that's okay. All I have to do is kind of cradle the forearm and just make sure that I'm really getting a passive motion, okay? For extension, I could come off the table. Okay, or another way to do that is you can cradle the humerus and kind of almost give it a little bit of an extra from over the top and see, hold that end range for a few seconds. For pronation, I can just take the forearm and wrist and pronate them. Supination, come over the other way and hold for 5 to 10 seconds. Make sure, you kind of get a good feel for that, okay? For resisted range of motion, we want the elbow mostly neutral, so around 90, maybe a little bit out of 90, okay? The open pack position for the ulnar humeral joint is about 70 degrees of elbow flexion, so it's a little bit further than 90. But at the elbow, you have the humeral radial, humeral ulnar, and right at that joint too with pronation, supination, you have the proximal radial ulnar joint. Right, there's 3 of them right there in close proximity. So, usually around like 90 degrees. Because each one of those has their own open and closed pack positions. Okay, they're different at each one of those. So, I'm going to try to straighten your arm. Don't let me do it. Good. I'm going to try to bend your elbow. Don't let me do it. Strong guy. Don't let me move you.
Those gains.
Good. I am going to try to turn your hand over this way. Just hold, don't let me do it, okay? So now I'm testing pronation because I'm supinating him. I'm trying to supinate him, so he's pronated. And then we're going to do the opposite. Don't let me push you this way. And now he's working his supinators, right? I'm trying to pronate him. You can do that a couple ways. If you feel like you need to have the humerus, you can try doing that one-handed. You can also use 2 hands where I'm trying to pronate him over or supinate him. And then he's going to resist against both of those, okay? The same rules apply. You're looking for quality, quantity. How does that change your symptoms? As you flex, as you extend, as you pronate, supinate, okay? Then passively, I'm trying to eliminate your muscles and tendons, and I'm trying to just see how the inner tissues do. And then the last part is, how do your how does your wrist work? How do your muscles work? Very hard to distinguish between just doing elbow. We're just going to do elbow now, but if a person has a lateral epicondylopathy, like a tennis elbow, what muscles are actually the ones that are implicated in that? Are they mostly elbow muscles? No. They're wrist muscles, right? So if you're coming with someone with lateral elbow pain and you're thinking tennis elbow, it's going to be important that you look at the elbow, active, passive, resistive, but it's just as important you look at the wrist, active, passive, resistive, right? Because that's really, now I need to do my resisted motion at the wrist if I'm going to really want to bring out these forearm muscles, right? So just practice elbow right now. Don't worry about wrist and hand. We'll probably do that next class. Let's just do a good job with this one, and then if anyone has any questions about